Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. Well, we begin today with our annual economic outlook, our yearly analysis of where Oklahoma's economy is heading. And this year, that direction may be driven by slumping energy prices. Crude oil prices that were in the low 100s this summer have fallen to less than half that, a drop that could impact both jobs and curtail shale gas exploration here in Oklahoma. But whether this decline in prices will lead to an 80s-style bust or just a slowdown in economic growth is a question still looking for answers. All the while, motorists are enjoying some welcome relief at the pump.
A lot. I make $2.13 an hour, and the gas prices are so high that half the time I don't get to go hardly anywhere but to work because I can't afford the gas.
Well, prices at the pump are at their lowest in years. A drop that may be good for holiday travelers.
$34.05 for 18.22 gallons.
Fills this thing right up, and I'll take you
I
one.
love it. I love it.
But no Christmas present for the energy industry or the state's economy. States like Oklahoma, while diversified, still look to the oil patch for jobs. Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin.
And energy is one of our key industries in our state, all forms of energy, not just oil and gas, but so many other forms of energy too. And it employs in the energy sector 1 in every 4 Oklahomans. So it creates a tremendous amount of revenue in our state. Close to 1/3 of our revenue that's generated is generated by some form of energy, the energy sector.
According to a report commissioned by the State Chamber Research Foundation, the energy industry is Oklahoma's largest contributor to state revenues. About $2 billion, 22% of all state collections. So when prices began to plunge in early November, everyone from 23rd and Lincoln to downtown Oklahoma City began to take notice. Chad Wilkerson heads the Oklahoma City branch of the Federal Reserve Bank.
We're kind of in a new regime of oil with the shale boom we've had and shale producers being in this position. Prices have fallen from over 100 to less than 70 in just 4 months for a variety of reasons.
Drillers like the one behind me can drill a well in as little as a week at a cost of $1.5 million. And while that is still some serious money, it's just a fraction of what it costs to drill in the Arctic or the oceans where the last big oil reserves lay. The exact reason why we've seen almost 20,000 new wells like this drilled nationwide since 2010, a rate that's 10 times that of the world's leading oil producer of Saudi Arabia, and a point the Saudis are not lost on. When OPEC flexed its muscle in the 1970s, creating shortages and driving prices upward, that prompted huge investments in oil plays all across the world, eventually leading to a decade-long glut of oil and lower gasoline prices. So rather than repeat that scenario, the Saudis and OPEC seem to be betting they can produce the cheapest oil in the world and thereby putting higher-cost producers, including shale drillers here in Oklahoma, out of business. An industry move that economists like OSU's Dan Rickman says may well slow shale production, but not end it.
Because once you start doing that, you're going to start cutting out the marginal producers. And as the supply gets cut, then that starts providing some price support.
So while the solution to low oil prices may well be low oil prices, getting there may not be pretty. In fact, Rickman believes for every 100 jobs lost in the energy sector, another 60 will disappear across the wider economy, a multiplier effect that could be felt in every community around the state.
So not only are you losing jobs, you're often losing high-paying jobs. So this will have spillover effects on the rest of the economy that will harm us. On the flip side, though, that low energy prices spur national growth because consumers have more money to spend. So we have a little bit of an offset from the lower energy prices that help cushion the harm from the energy prices. But since we are an energy state, the net effect on Oklahoma is negative of falling energy prices.
So what goes up, just like in years past, does eventually come down. Now, while a pullback in shale gas production may be inevitable, long-term, the economics of energy have not changed. And when prices do recover, new wells can be brought online in a matter of months, which is why many believe current low energy prices are only one crisis away from rebounding. Now, when we return, we end all this doom and gloom and look at the economic positives to start the new year.